Hey all, welcome back to the Fire and Water Cooking Channel. I'm Darren. Today we're going to do hot and fast full packer brisket on the Camp Chef Woodwind Wi-Fi. It's perfect for that. I was able to pick up a couple prime Costco full packer briskets last time I was there. $3 a pound, awesome deal. And that's what we're going to use today. I'll be right back and we'll get this thing hot and fast on the pellet grill. I'll be back.
Smoking, grilling, getting hot and hotter, sous vide and chilling from fire and water.
All right guys, first thing I got to do is I got to get this out of the packaging and I'm going to trim it up. I'm going to leave most of the fat on. I'm not going to show you how to trim the brisket because you've probably seen that 100 times. There are some big chunks of fat on here, but since I'm not going to use the sous vide on this today, I'm just going to do hot and fast on the Woodwind Wi-Fi pellet grill. We're going to cook it at a hotter temperature than you normally would on a low and slow. We're going to cook it like 375 to 400 until it gets up to the internal temperature of about 160 when it hits the stall. So what that's going to let us do is get that bark really set, and then we're going to turn the grill down and wrap it and let it get back up to the 203 degrees that we normally would cook it to internally. But first thing I got to do, take this out of the pack, trim it up some. I'm not going to bore you with that. Season it up, salt, pepper only, because we're doing Texas style. And then I'm going to show you what kind of pellets and all that I'm going to use on the Woodwind Wi-Fi. So I'll be right back. First thing I got to do, I'm going to swap out my pellets. I'm going to show you how easy it is to change pellets out here on the Woodwind Wi-Fi. Open up the chute, get your old pellets out, and then I'm going to use some Camp Chef charwood hickory pellets to on the brisket today, and that's charcoal and hickory mixed together in the pellets, so that's what we're going to use. Now it's time to turn the temperature. I'm going to set my temperature at 390. That's what we're going to do for the hot part of the cook today. All right, hit confirm and we're ready to go. All right guys, I trimmed up my brisket. And like I said, I didn't take a whole lot of fat off of this just because I know I'm going to be cooking it hot and fast. I got my Camp Chef going up to, I'm going to do it like 390 and kind of check it out from there. If I need to lower it or raise it some, we're going to monitor it. And like I said, it's hot and fast, so we're just going to take that up to where the stall, like a 160 or so, and then we're going to wrap it and drop the temperature down and let it finish in the foil. We're going to wrap it in foil. I got my salt and pepper here, no garlic. This is Texas style, so I got some pink Himalayan salt from FreshJax and crushed black pepper from FreshJax, and we're just doing a simple salt and pepper, 50-50 mix, salt and pepper rub from Texas style from FreshJax. So I'm just going to go ahead and liberally coat this. I am going to keep this on this pan right now just so that I can get this rub on without making a big huge mess. This is a pretty big packer brisket. It's about 16 pounds or so, 17 pounds. Probably a little closer to 18 or 19 before I trimmed it. I didn't really overly trim it for aerodynamics because I'm not using a offset or anything where the air is kind of flowing one way. This is going to be in the Camp Chef Woodwind, which is convection style cooker, which the air is going to be rolling all the way around it. All right, I got it all rubbed down. Looks good to me. Looks like I got the rub pretty much even all over it, and I'm just going to let it sit here for about 15 or 20 minutes while my Camp Chef, it's right at 250 now, so another 10 minutes or so, that should be up and ready to go. So I'll see you back in just a few minutes. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and throw my brisket in. I got my water pan in the bottom here. I'm going to put the brisket on the top rack. The water pan serves two purposes for me. It keeps the chamber moist, but it also catches a lot of that fat that renders, so I don't have any grease fires and don't have a whole big puddle down there. I'm going to take any excess rub and fill in any holes, and that's about it. I'm going to make sure I get my probe in the deepest part of the brisket so we can monitor that, and then we'll be back in a little bit. All right, guys, I want to touch on a couple things. One of the it's kind of I'm kind of glad this happened because I can talk to you about one of the pitfalls of having a pellet grill. Is it is 100% runs on electricity, and I'm in Florida, and usually in the late spring, early summer, or even through the whole summer, we get a lot of afternoon thunderstorms, and the power goes out a lot. So actually, this is one of the first thunderstorms we've had this whole year. Was today, and it happened not too long after I threw the brisket on, and the power went out, shut the system down. I had to come out and return it back on. And one of the things you have to do if the pellet grill was cooking and you turn it back on, you can bypass the startup process so it doesn't try to dump a whole load of pellets in there before lighting it again. So I had to do that actually 2 times, and once I was actually out running an errand, and my wife had to do it, so had to walk her through that. So that's one of the big pitfalls of having a pellet grill is it won't work unless you got power. Mine, I don't have it hooked up to a battery pack, but I guess you can do like inverters, battery packs and stuff, but I particularly don't do that. So that can be an issue with a pellet grill. But needless to say, I did get it back up. It's been running for about almost 3 hours now. Internal temp is about 156. But I'm getting ready to take this out. The bark looks decent. It's okay. It does look kind of weird for me because it is hot and fast. It just looks kind of different. So I am going to go ahead, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this in wrap it up. As you can see, like I said, it does look a little weird compared to some of my other briskets. But then again, this is not like those. This is a hot and fast. It's 154 right now. I'm going to take it off and wrap it, put it in a pan, and then we're going to take it back up to, turn the temperature down on the grill down to around 275 or so, and try to crank up the smoke factor and try to get some smoke in there as well. So, all right, I'll be back. All right, guys, it's time to wrap this baby up, and I'm going to put it in a pan just so that I don't leak any of the juices out. I'm taking 2 cups of beef stock, 1 cup of water. That's what we're going to use here for the pretty much braising liquid, just so we can let this connective tissue and collagen that still needs to be broken down. It really helps when you have a lot of moisture in there when you wrap it up. The foil pan is just going to make sure that I don't spill out a lot of the moisture that's in there. We're going to stick it back in the smoker for a couple hours until it hits 201 here. As you can see, it did hit 201 in the smoker, all wrapped up. But before I take it out, I'm going to go ahead and hit it with my instant read and try to see if there's any kind of tenderness going on. It was probing at 200, a little over 200, pretty much everywhere in the brisket, except for the flat was still a little tough. That didn't probe very tender. But what we're going to do is take this thing out, and we're going to cook it just a little bit longer on the grill without the wrap, so that we can get that bark to set just a little bit better, because it's kind of moist right now. But this is going to let that cook just a little bit more, break down the collagen and connective tissue, make it nice and tender while it's setting that bark up. The point set is pretty good. I mean, I know the point is ready to go. It's just the flat that still needs a little bit more time to break down the connective tissue and make it a little bit more tender. But hopefully after another 45 minutes to an hour, that bark's going to be set pretty good, and we'll be back. As you can tell, after that another hour here, the bark set up really good. So I'm going to go ahead now, let this, I'm going to wrap it one more time and let it rest for about 45 minutes until we're ready to slice this thing up and eat it. I'll see you then. That's done. It's been resting now for about 45 minutes or so. That point is really falling apart. I'm going to cut some right from here. And to show you the point. Go. Ooh, that looks so good. Still smoking, still hot. Wow. And decent smoke ring too. Whoa, I love the point. Well, let me cut a little piece off the flat here, just so you can see it. It does got a decent smoke ring. Really nice smoke ring. Yeah, it's got a nice bend to it. Pull them apart. It's nice and tender, not dry at all. Still got a decent amount of fat on it. Wow. Very good. Hot and fast. So it took me about 6 hours or so. About a little bit, 6.5 hours. You can do it hot and fast. Cook it hot, wrap it, cool it down, wrap it again. Man, I'm gonna go cut this up and eat it. Real easy to do, guys. Camp Chef Woodwind Wi-Fi with the smoke control on the PID controller. Works really good. Like I said, this there you go. Nice bend. Pulling apart, really easy. Tender, smoky. Probably not as smoky as if I would have cooked it on the Kamado Joe, but still got really good smoke. Good flavor, salt and pepper, simple Texas. I gotta go cut this up, everybody's waiting for it. Thanks for watching. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Like, subscribe, share. Follow the Fire and Water Cooking Podcast. Have some great guests coming up. Thank you, and I'll see you again on the next Fire and Water Cooking video.